Berlin, November 1923. A middle-aged man walks past a bakery with a wheelbarrow full of paper marks. He stops. He looks at the price of a loaf of bread. He checks his pocket. He has no coins, only more paper. He sets the wheelbarrow down, turns around, and walks away. Not because he cannot afford the bread, but because the bread's price changed while he was walking from the corner to the door. That man did not witness a crash. He witnessed a quiet death. There is a mistake embedded in modern financial education. It is the belief that currencies die in explosions, in riots, in stock market tickers frozen in freefall. The myth is dramatic. The myth is cinematic. The myth is wrong. Currencies die the same way empires die. Not with fire, with silence. With a slow realization that the instrument of exchange no longer performs its primary function. First, it stops storing value. Then, it stops measuring value. Finally, and this is the stage no one notices, it stops being trusted. By the time the hyperinflation charts go viral, the death has already occurred. The virus was present for years. Understanding this pattern is not academic. It is structural. Every currency system in recorded history, from the Roman aureus to the French livre to the Zimbabwean dollar, has followed an identical 7-stage framework. The names change, the emperors change, the mathematics do not. Stage 1, military or social spending exceeds revenue. This is never presented as a currency problem. It is presented as a political necessity, a war, a welfare expansion, a bridge program. The government faces a choice: tax transparently or inflate invisibly. Every single time the choice is inflation, because inflation is quiet. Stage 2, the debasement begins. In Rome, they clipped silver from the edges of denarii. In France, kings melted coins and reduced precious metal content. Today, central banks create digital reserves. The mechanism evolves. The effect is identical. Each unit of currency now represents less real value than the unit before. Stage 3, the market notices, but the market does not panic. Not yet. Prices rise slowly. Economists call this benign inflation. 3%, 5%. Wages adjust. People complain but adjust. This is the deception window. It can last a decade or two, but the die is cast. Stage 4. The gap widens between the official story and lived experience. Governments announce inflation at 6%. Bread has doubled. Rent has tripled. Citizens begin to distrust the numbers. This is the first psychological rupture. People do not yet abandon the currency, but they stop saving in it. They buy real estate. They buy gold. They buy canned goods. The velocity of money begins to rise. Stage 5. The tipping point. Currency velocity becomes self-reinforcing. People spend today because they know prices will be higher tomorrow. Merchants stop posting stable prices. Gas stations change signs hourly. Restaurants print menus on whiteboards. This is not chaos. It is rational adaptation. But it is also death. Stage 6. The flight from the currency. Everyone with access to foreign currency, hard assets, or barter networks abandons the dying medium. Only the poor remain trapped in it. This is the cruelest stage. The wealthy convert to gold, dollars, or land before the collapse. The middle class watches their savings evaporate over 18 months. The poor never had savings to lose. They simply cannot buy food. Stage 7. The currency is replaced. Sometimes by a foreign currency. Sometimes by a new domestic issue with zeros removed. Sometimes by a commodity. The old bills become artifacts. Children use them as drawing paper. Tourists buy them as souvenirs. And the cycle begins again. Consider the Roman denarius. In 200 AD, the denarius was 50% silver. By 260 AD, it was less than 5%. Prices rose 1,000%. Emperor Aurelian tried to issue reformed coinage. The people called it old silver and hoarded it. They spent the new coins immediately. The market had already decided. Consider the French livre under Louis XV and XV. The crown accumulated debt equal to 60% of GDP. Finance ministers warned of insolvency. The solution was currency manipulation, then borrowing, then more manipulation. By 1789, the livre had lost 95% of its value against gold from a century earlier. The Estates General convened. The revolution followed. The currency did not cause the revolution, but the currency's quiet death made the revolution inevitable. Consider the Weimar mark. From 1914 to 1919, the money supply doubled, then doubled again. By 1922, the mark traded at 1/800 per dollar. By November 1923, it was 4.2 trillion marks per dollar. But here is the detail the textbooks miss. The hyperinflation did not kill the mark. The mark was dead in 1922. The hyperinflation was just the funeral procession. Modern relevance. The United States dollar has lost 98% of its value against gold since the Federal Reserve's creation in 1913. The British pound has lost 99.5% since 1914. The Japanese yen has been revalued 3 times. The cycle has not stopped. The cycle does not stop. This is not a prediction of imminent collapse. This is a description of a mechanism. The quiet death always has 4 early warning signs: rising debt to GDP ratios without productivity growth, falling currency velocity despite money printing, a divergence between official inflation and price reality, and a shift in elite savings behavior toward hard assets. The question is never if a currency system will die. The question is when the crowd realizes it is already dead. The man with the wheelbarrow in Berlin did not witness a crash. He witnessed the final hour of a death that had taken 9 years. He turned around and walked home. The next week, the Reichsmark was introduced. 1 trillion old marks became 1 new mark. The old bills were burned for heat. That is the quiet death. No explosion, just paper, then ash, then silence.